Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. I'm really happy that we have Simon Meadows, a business coach who loves making people millionaires, here with us. Simon,
Hi, Tony. Hi, everyone.
hi. Today's episode, as always, is sponsored by my coaching business, and we're going to deep dive into what Simon is doing with his clients, and how he actually got into his own business, how he became entrepreneur after, seeing how much money he was making for everyone. So, Simon, please introduce yourself a little bit to the audience.
Yes. Thanks, Tony. My journey started way back. People might not recognize that with how old I look, but trust me, I've been around for a while. So in 1994, I worked in construction and I got fed up with making my employers a lot of money, but not making much myself. So I decided to set up my own construction business, which I had for nearly 20 years. And during that time, Tony, what I found was that I had no entrepreneurial spark in the beginning at all. I joined forces with a business partner and I learnt to be an entrepreneur from my business partner because I was Mr. Steady. I had a nice job. I just got married. I just got a house. Uh, but I knew I wanted something different, but I wouldn't consider myself an entrepreneur. But over 2 or 3 years, I certainly became an entrepreneur and I set up a garden centre business. I was the UK's first importer of Canadian hot tubs. Yeah, I really loved the whole business uh, opportunity. And what I didn't realize was that at the time, I didn't really connect with my purpose. But as the businesses grew, I always knew that my purpose was to help other people. I loved apprenticeships. I loved helping people move from one industry to another industry. And yeah, there's nothing better now than what I do of being a coach. And as you say, I help people sell their businesses. So not only do I get to help people, but I get to help people build millionaires as well and help other coaches do the same.
Wonderful. So, can you just tell me a little bit more about this? How you and to the audience, how you actually are helping people become millionaires? Because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, well, the thing I realized, Tony, in my own businesses, and I really believe in the Sherpa effect. You've got to have gone up the mountain and come back down safely to show other people how to do the same. And I realized in my own businesses the importance, even from a very early stage, of putting value building blocks into business, structure, processes, intellectual property, putting as much into a business which gives it value. So ultimately, you have a choice of whether you stick with it, whether you grow with it, or whether you might want to sell it. So for me, it's about helping other business owners, other entrepreneurs direct their focus into building a business that has value and worth so that then they can make a better choice of what they do. And if you do that, you don't get low multipliers, you don't get low values. Yeah, a client came to me just over 18 months ago, wanted to sell his business for £1 million. I told him I thought it was worth three, and he sold it for nearly six. And that's the kind of difference it can make just by putting these blocks in place. It's not science, it's just process and structure.
Wow, I love this. I love this. So what motivates you to keep going, when things are tough in your business, for example?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh, I think two things. The first one is strategic plan. So I'm a big fan of Vern Harnish and the Rockefeller Habits book, and I each year I update my strategic plan so I know where I'm heading. So the first thing is, even as a coach, I have to have that plan. I have to know where I'm heading and the steps that are going to get me there. So that's one of the most important things that I need to look up at. It's right on the wall in front of me. I need to look up at it and say, right, times are hard today, but that's where I'm going. And that really is the biggest motivation for me. And I just love helping people. I can't emphasize that enough. I do have the best job in the world because I quickly realized my purpose in life, in business, and in personal life is to help other people. And now I get to live that dream every single day. And that energy really gets me through those tough times as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love this connection with energy and stuff. So when you think about your energy and how you build up your business and all the clients that you worked with, like what's one of the biggest successes you had in your business so far?
Oh, biggest success. I think for me, it's what I mentioned earlier on. It was having a choice. I felt even as a business owner, I was starting to get into a trap of working hard, doing the hustle in the hope that one day I would have a business that perhaps I could retire from or that I could exit. And that really is a trap that I saw myself in. And because a friend of mine passed away very suddenly at a very young age, I decided that enough was enough. And I think in life we need these monumental events to make a difference. Like I said, with the banking crisis, etc. And when my friend died, I said, enough's enough. I'm not going to keep in this trap. I'm going to use that and I'm going to now live the life that I want to live. Not when I'm 65. I'm going to start living pieces of it right now. And that was the biggest success was having that choice.
Okay, excellent. And what's the vision for your business for next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, that's a question that people ask me so much as a coach. And I often say to people, I want to keep doing what I do. I don't want to finish doing what I'm doing. I always say they'll put the lid on the box when I'm done. That's it. But what I do want to do, Tony, is make it more scalable. I'm still trying to avoid that trap of working harder to get more. And what I want to do is still get more time, get more choice, but actually find better ways of scaling so that I can grow without having to put more inputs into it. That's definitely where I want to be in the next few years. And group programs are definitely the way for me for that.
Okay, so then what's your goal for next maybe 6 to 12 months in your business?
6 to 12 months. Again, it goes back to the groups. So I've got a new group that's launching, and I want to get 12 people into that new group. And the other thing I want to do is really master, and I'm going to give you a personal one and a business one. I really want to master pay per click. I've done lots of social media, but nothing on Google pay per click. So I'd love to do some paid advertising pay per click and really master that. And the other thing is, I want to learn to ice skate. So in the next 6 months, that's on my bucket list to learn to ice skate as well.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And also in your entrepreneurial journey and you being a business coach as well, have you come across any of the books that really, amazed you or gave you or changed your view on how to do things or inspired you in such a way that you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
can recommend to our audience?
yeah, absolutely. The Rockefeller Habits by Vern Harnish was one of the very first business books that I was given. Anything by Ken Blanchard on leadership and management, I love. But for me, probably one of the most important, I'll give you two. The Art of Selling Your Business by John Warrillow, because that's what I use to build my business and that's what I use with clients now. And the other one is by a good friend of mine, Mike Michalowicz, and it's a book called Clockwork, because so many of us in our businesses delegate and give out work to get more time, and then it all seems to come piling back onto our desk. And in Mike's book, Clockwork, he talks about the ways in which we can delegate work out so that it doesn't come back like a boomerang and hit us around the back of the head. So, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. And also, as you're, sort of mentioning this and talking about that, I was thinking like, so if anyone from our audience is interested to like sell their business or get more, like, can you describe a little bit your sort of people that you typically help? Like, who can basically get in touch with you?
Yeah, for me, it's businesses that are doing well already. They're doing okay, but they know that if they put the business into somebody else's hands, that it could do so much better, and that they want to start having a business where they're less in it. A business only has value when it can run without the business owner and the entrepreneur in it. And it's not about suddenly letting go, it's about a process of taking steps back from the business. I don't believe in the myth that a business runs without you, but it can run without you most of the time. So people who have that aim, that want to exit a business, either partly or not, but are doing okay and just know that they can do better.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And then also, if anyone from our audience wants to actually get in touch with you, how they can do that?
Uh, the simplest way is to schedule a 30-minute chat, timewithsimon.com. No sales pitch promised. I just literally want to give 30 minutes to anyone, any of the listeners, to help them discover what their success can be for themselves. And if I'm part of that help, then great. But if I'm not, I'm happy to signpost people elsewhere as well.
Excellent. So I can also share that in the link below in the description of this podcast. And yeah, thank you very much for being a guest today. Thank you all for watching and listening to this podcast. See you in the next episode.
It's been great. Thanks.